Good morning. I wondered if you might like to join me just for a few minutes this morning. It's a lovely day and I don't think that it's going to last long, unfortunately, so I've scooted out here into the greenhouse to deal with my poor old plants. Some of them haven't had a drink for weeks and weeks. With the cacti, I find that you have to start watering again in March. Leave them all winter, water again in March. And since March, it's been dismal. As you all know, here in the UK, we've had nothing but rain and dull days. And consequently, I wouldn't touch them if that's the case. So today, I've come screaming out here, filled up the watering cans, and I've been giving everybody a drink. Beginning of May it is. Beginning of May. So frustrating. So if you'd like to have a little look with me, come round. I'm not going to be able to stay out here much longer because the sun's just starting to come round to the greenhouse and it'll kill me in a minute. I won't be able to bear it. So have a little look and let's see what we've got. Well, let's start off just by sort of panning around the greenhouse so that you can see what is in here. There we go. So this is the top deck. And then here we have the lower tier. And then coming down, we've got the plants that tend to like a little bit more shade, and they're on the bottom over here. So they're all sitting there. But the issue this spring has been the fact that it's been so dull that everything is starting to stretch for the light, and that's really going to be an issue. And because it's been so cold, in the back part of the greenhouse where I have the plants who don't need such a dry climate, they're all starting to seriously stretch for the light. So they're going to have to go out soon, whether they like it or not. I don't really have any choice. So these here are doing, they're doing well. They're getting enough light, I think. I've got a few lithops, living stones that have stretched. I'll show you those in a second. But this little lot aren't doing too badly. And then all the junk, of course, is kept underneath, as most greenhouses. We've got all the pots and what have you. The seeds are in. Now they're doing okay, but as you can see again, they're starting to stretch. So I'm going to have to get those outside and hope and pray that the water doesn't bash them to bits when we have the next lot of rain, and that the slugs don't get too happy with them. I'm going to spin you round again. Let's just come round to this side over here. And the living stones that I was wittering about just now, here they are. They're these funny, strange little plants here. And out in the wild, they grow very, very close to the ground, in stony ground, just like they are in these pots here. And the reason for that is because they disguise themselves and it stops the animals from eating them. Otherwise they wouldn't survive. Now at this time of year, they're all starting to split. Can you see that they're all splitting? Oh, just got an aeroplane going over, sorry. And they're all splitting, and this is quite natural and normal. And when they do this, we must not water them. They have to stay very, very dry, and the moisture that the plant has comes from that outer casing, which it's going to absorb now, and it will become a new plant. So they're all doing quite well. And I've been spending my morning looking around, watering everything, and making sure I don't have any nasty little bugs, because last year seemed to be the year of the mealybug. I can't begin to tell you. These horrible little white fluffy things that eat everything in sight. I see I've got flowers coming here, so that's exciting. So that will be lovely in a short while. And flowers again here. Little buds just starting to appear. So I'm looking forward to that. This one's already in flower, dear little thing. Look, it has a halo. Isn't that just divine? And on the top of it, if we look at the top, we can see, if we're artists already, that Fibonacci sequence where you've got that spiral shape happening on the top there. That's Fibonacci. Very, very beautiful. It's a shape that often appears in nature, and it's the rule of threes when we're drawing and we're painting. So I've got some flowers with various things. They're doing okay. They're all right. Found some nice little mealy bugs on this blighter this morning, so that's been sprayed. And I use a mixture of 70% real alcohol and 30% water, and that seems to be working a treat at the moment. I think I've got more of a handle on it at the moment than I've had for years, which is good news. Terminal frustration, however, because the soil that I'm buying at the moment is absolutely crammed full with grass seeds. So this is Miracle Grow soil, and look at the state of this. So I'm actually having to weed my pot plants. I can't get over it. So annoying. These down here are having a drink because they've been really, really dry. So I've put them in some water with some feed in it. And again, I'm just using Miracle Grow, and I'll come out later and take them out. You don't want to get them too wet. This is the latest baby, the new one. Isn't that just beautiful? I found that in Guernsey when we were on holiday at Blue Diamond Garden Centre, so I'm going to desperately try to keep him. I have some others if I whiz you round to the back round to the other side of the greenhouse. So this is my little collection here of the interesting ones. Look at these, aren't they lovely? I love these. Colours on them, look at that. Isn't that just super? You can see that we've had a bit of damage here from the cold in the winter, the brown bits that we're looking at here, sadly. We had one really bad cold spell in the winter where it was -5 for about 5 days, and it did a bit of damage, unfortunately. Here's some more here. This poor thing has really suffered. Hey ho. But others are growing beautifully. This is absolutely chock full of seeds, sorry, not seeds, of buds. So that will be flowering beautifully. And I'm looking forward to that. You know, it's when you come in here and everything's just burst into bloom. It's so exciting and they're so beautiful. We have more buds up here on the echinopsis, so looking forward to that. I like this one. This one's really unusual. Look at this. Love that. Colours are so subtle. It would be nice to go into that and to paint it, you know, large. The other one that I'm particularly fond of is this over here. This strange one. This is cristate. It happens like fasciation with certain plants that we have in the garden, and they turn cristate like this. It would have been originally something like this, and it's done that. So pretty special. I love this furry one as well. My mother-in-law hates it. She says it looks as though it's fungal, but I just think that that is so cool. I love the furry ones. Here's another one over here, and that again has got buds, so that's going to be exciting soon. This one has thousands and thousands of pups. You see all these little round nodules on the side, they're all new plants. So later on in the year, I shall be taking those off, leaving them for 2 to 3 weeks so that they dry off and they callus off, and then you can plant them and pot them. Buddha's Temple, love this too, strange shape of this one. So that's that size, but I also have some little miniature ones. So if we come down here, and this is the baby tray, this is the nursery. Over here you can see I've got some little miniature ones. Little tiny miniature one. This one's rather spectacular, love this. And love the colours on this purple one here. You wouldn't want to argue with that. That's a euphorbia. So we've got euphorbias in our garden, and this is a form of euphorbia. And again, we wouldn't want to argue with that. Oh, can you imagine? No, thank you. How about this? This is my monkey's tail. Love this very, very much. Very much. It is prickly, but you can still touch it if you're careful without it hurting you. And this will have beautiful red flowers on it. Lovely red flowers. So that I repotted that last year in great danger to myself, but I managed it. I only broke one piece off, and it grew. So I was well chuffed with that. And then behind it is another type, and that is rat's tails. There we are. Love all these strange plants. Now, for things that don't need to be as dry as this, if we go through into the second part of the greenhouse, I have a separate, more damp area. And in here, I've got my carnivorous plants. So these pitcher plants here, the Sarracenias, they've flowered, and the beautiful pitchers are now starting to appear. They are so lovely. I just love the shape of them. Love the shape and the veins on them. We can see the veins on the pitchers. Look, they have to stand in water. So this is why this end of the greenhouse is a lot moister than the other. And they all have to stand in water. And we've got the Venus flytraps through here. So they're all just starting to come on. And I do cut the flowers off my Venus flytraps because it gives you a stronger plant. There's a little banana there from a friend called Dave Tite. Well worth going and seeing him on Facebook as well, because he has a page called Dave's Greenhouse, and he's full of carnivorous plants. These are the sundews, and they have all these little sticky tiny hairs on them, and this is what traps the flies. So they're quite pretty. And then coming back through here, I do love the flowers of these epiphyllums. They're the ugliest plants in the world, but you can see the little buds starting to form here. And when that flowers, that flower will be dinner plate size. And they're huge and they're gorgeous. You can see up here that this is more advanced. This is the bud, 2 buds here on this one, and the flowers on this are the biggest, brightest, most gorgeous orange. You'd never have guessed, would you? Talking about orange, I wish it was smell-o-vision, because down here, the big orange tree that I have is in full throttle at the moment with flower, and the perfume in this greenhouse cannot be described. It's amazing. It's full of flowers. It still has some oranges on it from last year. I need to really take them off now. You tend to get more flowers if you remove the fruit. And down over here, I have a variegated orange. Again, still with plenty of fruit on it. And this one, the fruit is also variegated. When you cut it open, the flesh is red and orange. It's beautiful. We cut it, slice it, open freeze it, and then we have that in our gin and tonics. This is a piece of ginger that's just starting to come into leaf, and this was a piece from Waitrose that had nodules on it, and I planted it about 10 years ago, and it flowers. I keep all my amaryllis when people give me bulbs for Christmas, and they grow and they flower again. As you can see, this one has 3 flower heads on it. And then I'm crammed. I mean, everything's crammed. This is Xantadeschia underneath lilies. They'll be coming up. I need to get them out of the greenhouse. I'm starting to panic now. More epiphyllums. This in the corner is a verbena. So that beautiful lemon smell. Nice if you put it in a bath when you have a bath. Nice for making tea. And the tomatoes, of course, are ready now to go down here in the greenhouse on the floor in their final positions, but I can't get them there because the rest of it is just crammed. I'm rammed, and it's all starting to show now because it's struggling to get the light. So we can see that this is a lemon tree here, and you can see that it's starting to stretch. And this over in this corner with the reddish leaves that you can see here, That is a pomegranate, and again, that needs to get out into the light. What I'll have to do is put them outside and pinch the tips out to get them to go bushy again. And I see, coming around here, that the lemon has also got white buds on it, so that's obviously just coming into flower as well. So yeah, chaos, absolute mega chaos, truly. I don't know what I'm going to do if the weather doesn't brighten up a bit. It's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. But I love this time of year.